Let's go straight to our guest tonight on India Matters. Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. Sajjan Kumar is a political analyst. Sanjay Jha, political analyst, formerly with the Congress party, someone who's been an advocate of Shashi Tharoor in the past. But I want to start with senior journalist and my friend Anjana Shankar, who's live with me from Kozhikode, where she has just attended the Kerala Lit Fest, where Shashi Tharoor actually went. He spent the day there today. And it's very interesting, Anjana, because Shashi Tharoor is being frowned upon by his party mates because he kind of bunked an important party meeting in Delhi. And his reason was that I have this Lit Fest to attend. And I know that you were there as well. Did you happen to bump into Shashi? What was his mood like? What are you making of all of this? Because, not attending an important party meeting ahead of an election to go to a Lit Fest seems a little odd even for Shashi.
Yeah, good evening, Shiv. You see, I'm at KLF, but today I did not bump into Shashi Tharoor. He's a huge crowd puller every year at KLF, Kozhikode. But what I heard was, I was busy doing my sessions and I didn't have a session with Shashi, but what I heard was there were a few sessions that he skipped. So, there are people talking about whether he's there or whether he's not there. I did not see him today, but I spoke to a few people who confirmed that he's very much in Kozhikode. So I don't know whether he has sessions tomorrow. But, what I make out of this is, you were talking about whether this is the end game and, you have reached a point of no return, even for Shashi Tharoor, looking at these videos and how, he has been snubbed by Congress and the, top leader, Rahul Gandhi. This is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
There's no doubt, as you said, he is a leader with a national stature. He has electoral weight, 4-time MP, and he is internationally recognized and respected leader. So instead of cashing in on that, Congress has been snubbing him time and again. And, this is a public event and where Rahul Gandhi is speaking to all the other leaders and conveniently ignoring Shashi Tharoor. But, all of us who have tracked Shashi Tharoor's political life, I don't think this is there's no point of return moment or this is even rebellion. What I would paint this as a disengagement. Shashi Tharoor has decided that he's going to disengage with Congress. And this is a very democratic way of showing it. You snubbed me at a public event in front of, all the Congress leaders for the whole, the world to see. So what I would do back, I think what Shashi Tharoor has chosen, a very restrained way of showing that he's unhappy, he's upset, and he's not going to take it lying down. So what I would do,
you use the word disengagement, which is a very interesting word, Anjana. But I would differ only slightly in saying that there is no subtlety left in this disengagement. It is out in the open. It is very bitter. There are daggers drawn between the two parties. The image that I just showed our viewers, which you have also no doubt seen, shows a degree of animosity in public, which is usually never the case when you're trying to project unity before an election. So I'm trying to understand it, but you are definitely right when you say this hasn't happened suddenly. It's been happening for a while. What does Shashi want, Sanjay? How do you assess or read his current state of mind? What is the outcome that Dr. Tharoor, would be happy with here, Sanjay?
Good evening, Shiv. My answer is going to be rather brief. This is once again a sense of deja vu. We are back to the same, I would say, puerile conversation on whether Shashi is relevant for the Congress or whether he's now seen as some kind of an ornamental excess baggage that can be disposed of. And I completely agree with what I think Anjana mentioned. In politics, your door is always open. In fact, even when doors close, they do reopen again. Shashi is a very dear friend of mine, so I need to make that disclosure upfront. Yeah. But I will make this point very categorically that, this conversation has been happening for a long time. There are two reasons behind it. One is obviously because Shashi sees himself as a different politician from the run-of-the-mill traditional thinking, which is that everybody follows without deviating even an inch from what is considered to be the party line. Shashi, let's give him full credit. In my opinion, he's the most outstanding parliamentarian today in terms of his cerebral intellectual depth. I don't think anybody matches him, Shiv, and I think you will probably agree with it. So give him that, cut him that slack for that independent thinking on certain issues that do make, in a very belligerent political environment where the BJP and Mr. Modi have made it some kind of a, kind of a clarion call that we must destroy the Congress, we must humiliate the Gandhis. Then if Shashi takes a more moderate line, which means an occasional adulation of something that the government may have done, I personally may not agree with it either, then the Congress has reasons to feel miffed as well. So it's a trick. It's like walking with both your feet on two separate banana peels. But here is the short answer. If Shashi were to even remotely contemplate, as the BJP has been falsely spreading and speculating on TV channels, that Shashi is miffed and he's going to, jump over to some other side, he will be committing political suicide, and I know Shashi will never do it.
No, but
as far as the Congress is
I
concerned,
agree with you entirely, Sanjay. The only place I would slightly differ with you is that, the adulation that he periodically shows, or the affection he periodically shows towards the, the BJP, actually specifically the Prime Minister, in this very hyper-polarized kind of atmosphere, is extremely damaging to the Congress party. It's not just maturity, it's not just subtlety. I would argue that, it is completely weaponized. You can't look at it just as a politician, being mature because he's not very happy with his circumstances. But I take your point. The BJP, for a long time now has been fishing in troubled waters vis-a-vis Shashi Tharoor. It's been, throwing a great deal of affection towards him, not really knowing how to use him, but happy with the fact that he's, sulking openly and saying these, saying disparaging things through sources about the Congress party, being ignored in public by the Rahul Gandhi. The BJP is having a lovely gala time before the Kerala election, even if we don't know what it means electorally. Tuhin, you want to comment on that? You're loving
Good
all
evening,
this.
Shiv. Good evening, Shiv. Good evening, everybody.
a quick update.
The collapse of a relationship does not happen with formal divorce. It happens when there is communication breakdown. It happens when you realize your sensibilities are completely different. And I think Shashi Tharoor has been undergoing that problem with the Congress party for a very long time. So yes, like I had mentioned to you in the past, it is for him to take the first decision whether he wants to be in an unhappy relationship where, as you showed the viewers, he was, virtually humiliated on the stage. Rahul Gandhi did not acknowledge him. He was not called to Delhi for an important meeting with regard to Kerala elections. But more importantly, also, I think, one of the reasons why Rahul Gandhi and Shashi Tharoor differ so much, Shashi Tharoor realizes his responsibilities as a member of parliament. He wanted to be present in his constituency to greet the Prime Minister because that's a protocol. Now, Rahul Gandhi is a person who has never discharged his responsibilities as a member of parliament. He should have been in Ayodhya today as part of the defense committee. He skipped that meet. So, the sensibilities, the responsibility, the sense of responsibility between the two are completely different. And that difference is what, Shashi himself has been very vocal about the difference. It's for him to take the first decision before we take a call on what to do with him.
Okay. No, but I want to get a little deeper into whether this is a personal dislike, or is it a tactical kind of decision that Rahul Gandhi is taking because KC Venugopal, who is also a Kerala MP, his ambitions need to be accommodated as well. And he, of course, has a far better equation with Rahul Gandhi.
One point.
An independent thinker like a Shashi Tharoor, who's not really considered a darbari in that sense. And I mean that with respect. But I want to bring in Sajjan for 1 second, and then I'll get back to the personal point. Sajjan, is Shashi Tharoor, we are sitting here and speculating about the personal relationship. Electorally speaking, Shashi Tharoor is not seen as a huge heavyweight in local Kerala politics. Does he have the capacity to, damage the Congress party in any way with his sulk and with his mini rebellion?
Yes, precisely because in politics, your community-centric identity, though Tharoor never identifies with that as a foreground factor. But the fact that he belongs to the Nair community and Nair Seva Sangh is a very prominent force in Kerala and has been overwhelmingly loyal to Congress. So that is why it may become personal. So on that factor, Tharoor, besides having a cross-sectional appeal, particularly among the youth, he certainly has community-centric basis also to damage Congress into a context wherein CPM is trying to reinvent itself by also appealing to middle-class Hindus, and their changed stance on Sabrimala, etc., is a testimony to that. But more than that, let's see the interplay between Tharoor and Rahul Gandhi. It's like a dynast versus dynamic, leadership confrontation. Tharoor is completely procedural. He will not deviate from procedure. Even when he snubs Congress, he does it by giving an advance notice, factoring bona fide reasons. So he's completely procedural, while Rahul Gandhi is more like a temperamental. Also, Tharoor, being a diplomat, believes in diplomatic channel whenever there are differences of opinion, issues, etc., while Rahul Gandhi is becoming more and more confrontational. So therefore, the interplay between the leadership style of Rahul Gandhi and Shashi Tharoor is going to be acrimonious. But Tharoor being, a very procedure-centric person, I do not think he would call Congress a quit, right? Automatically, unless and until there are something wherein you need to cross the Rubicon, and at this juncture, we do not think that is the issue.
You're right. The lines are not being crossed. Rahul Gandhi, by virtue of being the boss of the party, has the privilege of, showing his displeasure, obviously, much more openly. But I've got some interesting breaking news before I come back to my second round of questions with you all. Very interesting. Sources are telling us that Rahul Gandhi has conveyed internally to the team in Kerala, don't fight with each other. We are going to form the government. And after that, the party will decide the chief minister. Leader of the opposition, V.D. Satishan, to start a statewide yatra from 6th February to address Shashi Tharoor's grievances as well. The Congress leadership will meet him during the parliament session. So this is quite interesting. Anjana, this has never happened before. This is very interesting, where sources within the Congress party are reaching out to the media, specifically us here in NDTV, and telling us, for the first time since this entire, Shashi versus Congress friction began many months ago, over a year ago in fact, this is the first time the Congress party has reached out to the media and said his grievances will be addressed during the parliament session. So somewhere the Congress is also acknowledging that they can't simply, ice him out and, leave this cold for people to speculate upon. Anjana.
They better do it, Shashi. They better do it, Shiv. Better late than never, because heading to assembly elections, I don't think Congress can afford to have this kind of divisions within the party, which has always been the problem with Congress. So I'm glad that they have at least made this effort. But, the thing is, Rahul Gandhi and the party should understand that, political loyalty is something, it's a two-way street. You cannot expect that you keep snubbing a leader, but he will remain loyal and then he will remain compliant and silent. I think we just spoke about the personality differences of both leaders. Maybe, at the end of the day, Rahul Gandhi is a political Nepo kid. I have a lot of respect for him, the way he has, come out of this vicious attacks that BJP was launching at him, and he's built his political credibility. But at the end of the day, he built his political career around sycophancy. So he's not used to leaders like Shashi Tharoor, who would maybe stand up, or even, he has opinions which don't align with the party. But until and unless the Congress party, and especially Rahul Gandhi, will show his leadership, will show the strength of his leadership, that he can accommodate strong leaders like Shashi Tharoor, reach out to him, sit down, talk, like two mature politicians, and bury the hatchet and move forward. Otherwise, they are sabotaging their gains that they've already made in Kerala. And one quick point I just want to make, no matter whether they will reach some kind of, agreement and they will settle this issue, this ego clashes or the issue with Shashi Tharoor, I think this would keep happening. And, not all bad or toxic marriages end. They could keep on going till death we part. That's how a lot of bad marriages are. So
no, that's a very good point, Anjana. That's a very good point, except that Shashi Tharoor is not just coasting here. He's a man with some ambitions. He has openly said in interviews that he does see himself as Chief Minister of Kerala. But since you mentioned the word sycophancy within the Congress party, Sanjay, if you could throw some light, who within the Congress party is opposed to Shashi Tharoor? There clearly are some people advising Rahul Gandhi against him. Because in normal course, this is the kind of person that Rahul Gandhi would like to prop up, would appreciate, would admire, would, give more space within the party for. You've advocated it as well. Who is it? Is it KC Venugopal? Is it the coterie? Are there other ambitions? What's going on?
Shiv, first and foremost, the update that I have is that Shashi, in fact, will be attending the discussions that will happen about the Congress in Kerala, but he's going to attend it on a virtual basis. So all this
because of the media heat. Because of the media heat, Sanjay.
Well, whatever be the trigger, the fact remains that it is happening. So for anyone to assume that he's out of the mainstream because of, the stuff that you're showing on the stage, where if you actually watch it carefully, I don't pay much value to the synthetic demonstrations on a public platform all the time. I have known Rahul personally very well, and there have been times on the stage where he hasn't had time to acknowledge you because they are surrounded by too many people. This happens all the time in politics. But anyway, to answer your question, both Anjana and Tuhin sound like very professional marriage counselors on your program today in Light of Vein. But I do believe that, we have to move. Politics is not about situationship and friends with benefits. And, we see it as very transactional. But in my opinion, there is an ideological bond that exists, especially for Shashi and the Congress. I'll agree with you. I'll tell you what's happening in Kerala, my frank view on Kerala. The Congress believes it is a front runner. I would tell it not to be complacent. It's politics, things change. But they do feel that they are front runners. They do believe they're going to win this election. And typically, I have noticed in politics, when a political party looks like it's going to win, everyone wants to have a stakeholder in that success story. So there is going to be some degree of simmering tension. I treat it, frankly, Shiv, as a very practical reality of competitive politics. Mostly it's always an intra-party that becomes a big challenge. And I do hope the Congress sorts it out very quickly.
Okay,
If I could just quickly add to the irony of these visuals that you're showing. Actually, last week, the pictures that were splashed across Kerala, Malayalam newspapers were Shashi Tharoor hugging KC Venugopal and flanked by Satishan, our opposition leader. And, that projected an image of unity, which Congress badly needed. And I think by, what Rahul Gandhi just did, I think he has completely reversed that. Now, we have gone back to the same discussion.
I agree.
This happened last week in Wayanad.
There
was a show of unity.
You're right. That image is exactly the opposite of what we're seeing now. I want to show you what I call the Kerala axis right now. Now, Sanjay will frown at me and say that this is a TV wala just having fun with graphics. But I just want to show you what it looks like from the outside in. And Sanjay, I'll give you a chance to rebut. But look at what, from the outside, this Kerala axis, which may be Tharoor versus the rest, looks like, to most people observing it. You've got Shashi Tharoor, okay, towering member of parliament from Thiruvananthapuram, erudite, celebrity MP, everyone knows who he is, member of the Congress Working Committee, openly has said that he wants to be, chief ministerial candidate, series of run-ins with the High Command. Then you've got Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, with whom Shashi has a very good, close equation, perhaps the only person in the High Command with whom he can speak to right now. She's the Wayanad MP, seen as sympathetic to Tharoor, perhaps the only one who does. Then you've got KC Venugopal. He's the Congress General Secretary organization, very powerful because he's very close to Rahul Gandhi, most powerful post after the Congress president. He's the MP from Alappuzha, winning in 2024. Very, very close to the man who calls the shots. Rahul Gandhi also has chief ministerial ambitions. Then you've got V.D. Satishan, leader of the opposition in the Kerala Assembly from the Congress party. He's the biggest Congress face in Kerala right now, also has chief ministerial ambitions. Then you've got Sunny Joseph, Kerala Congress president, part of the KC Venugopal camp. Deepa Das Munshi is the state in charge of Kerala right now, influential leader. How can one forget Ramesh Chennithala, ex-leader of the opposition. He is leading the anti-Tharoor brigade, but is also someone who nurses chief ministerial aspirations. So you've got all these moving parts in the Kerala Congress, but as Sanjay Jha said, there is no doubt that the Congress is heading into this election on the front foot and with an advantage. Tuhin, coming to you now, the Prime Minister of India was in Kerala today. He said many things. He is someone who is seen to have a special affection for Shashi Tharoor as well. But leaving the BJP part of it aside, do you see the Congress party making any missteps? Even Sanjay Jha says the Congress shouldn't be complacent going in. And I've just listed what that army looks like going in.
As Prime Minister Modi also emphasized in his speech today, Congress today is not INC, it is MMC, Muslim Maowadi Congress. And the best example of that is evident in the politics of Kerala. So this could be one of the other reasons for the estrangement between Tharoor and the Congress party. The Congress party is openly encouraging radicalization in Kerala. Its infatuation with the Jamaat. 2 years ago, in fact, 2.5 years ago in 2023, October, barely 20 days after the attack on Israel, when Khalid Mashal gave a speech in Kerala via video conferencing, there was only one leader which protested against it, which condemned it. That was Shashi Tharoor. None of the other Congress leaders have been able to do that. So this could be one of the reasons why Shashi Tharoor does not identify with Rahul Gandhi, which is politics, which is openly encouraging radical groups. Secondly, they might make a pretense of trying to reach out to Shashi Tharoor during the parliament session. But when you play out this video of Sandeep Dixit saying that Shashi Tharoor is an irrelevant leader in Kerala, would Sandeep Dixit, who's been a loser all his life, say that without being encouraged by the top leadership of the party? I think, there is a lot going on there's a lot of friction on ideological issues also.
No, I agree. I agree that the friction is being downplayed. I believe the friction is very real as someone who's looked at these things closely. But Anjana, to you once again, Sajjan, I'll come to you at the end. Do you see this reach out to Shashi Tharoor helping in any way? The elections are so close. There is no space left to heal these frictions right now.
Yeah, we spoke about this lack of unity and how that could impact Congress. But, I'm sure people all across India and specifically Malayalis, because, he's the Thiruvananthapuram MP, this has been going on and on. You be dissecting every word Shashi Tharoor said, every word he didn't say, and what would it mean? Is it a split? And is he angling for to join the BJP. So, these discussions have been going for more than a year and it hasn't reached anywhere. So I don't think, this kind of spectacle that Rahul Gandhi has created now on stage is going to influence whether on a bigger picture, Congress's electoral gains or not. This would definitely depend on their strategy, who they are placing, and how they're going to play their cards closely. But this Tharoor incident, where projecting unity would be good for Congress, because that is what any electorate would want. And that has been a systemic...
Except that he doesn't seem to be in a mood to, regularly project that unity. I have 20 seconds left, Sajjan. Between now and the elections, do you think there's going to be a divorce or it'll just coast on like this?
I do not think there would be a divorce, because you see a coexistence of misfits. The misfit of Rahul Gandhi, Congress and Tharoor, it's there. But it's going to be there because contrary to perception, Rahul Gandhi is known for filling Congress party with his loyalists. Not the merit, not the talent, not the dynamism, but his loyalists. From G23 onward until Tharoor, the story remains that Tharoor will remain to be a misfit under Rahul Gandhi.
Okay, thanks very much to you, Sajjan, Tuhin, Anjana and Sanjay for your time here on India Matters. It's going to get more and more interesting as we get closer to the Kerala election. But I appreciate your time. It's going to be one of the most interesting states to cover, and we will be there on the ground bringing it to you live, every single twist and turn. Thanks to my guests for joining me on story number 1 tonight.